My favorite 70s moment was crossing the stage at the O'Keefe Centre, as it then was, for my call to the bar. There was a collective gasp that came out of the audience because I was wearing a pantsuit, and that just wasn't done. But pantsuits took off right after that, so, I'd like to think that that also was one of the themes of the 70s. All my life, I thought I was going to be a journalist or a social worker. But when I went back to my hometown and told people that I was now in law school, they said, oh, well, you always wanted to be a lawyer. And I guess maybe that was both the combination of journalist, research, telling a story, and social worker trying to make things better. And so from that perspective, I was lucky to have chosen law. Early in my career, I was asked to serve on the Ontario Human Rights Commission. And I realized a commission, a tribunal, an agency could help people who had been wronged. Over the years, I went from the Human Rights Commission to the Police Commission. After that, I was deeply involved through my work in politics. I basically live at City Hall or at Queen's Park. I first was approached to join Women's College, early 90s, I guess it was, and the day I went to my very first board meeting was the day that the provincial government announced that the hospital should close. I found myself very quickly being involved in the fight to save Women's College Hospital, and that's when I found what a wonderful, broad, diverse group of people, women and men, were committed to having that institution continue. Dr. Emily Stowe was the founder of what was then Women's Medical College Hospital. She was a doctor who had been refused training in medical school, went to the United States, trained as a doctor there, but when she returned to Canada was refused residency to finish her training at any of the hospitals. So Dr. Emily Stowe said, that's it, I'm going to start my own hospital. The Emily Stowe Society has been set up by Women's College Hospital Foundation in her honor to build on her vision to support women of diverse backgrounds to become scientists and to become medical researchers. That's why it's called Women's College. It was the Women's Medical College Hospital. And ironically, the first patient apparently was a 12-year-old boy who had his appendix out.
I first met Jane about 28 years ago when I was an associate at a different law firm. And my first impression of Jane was that she was a bit intimidating, tough, smart, quick. Jane was one of the pioneers of the municipal and land use planning field. She's one of the leading lawyers in that field. It really developed in the 70s.
I was hired to start to do land development and planning law. There was no other lawyer in the firm doing that. And we now have a department of over 20 lawyers. We are recognized as the best in the province and in the GTA year after year. And from a professional perspective, I'm very proud of that because those people are excellent professionals, but they're also wonderful people, and they're all my friends.
What I admire most about Jane is really her work ethic. When you see what she's been able to accomplish, I think it spurs people to say, hey, how can I contribute? How can I do some good and give back to the community that's given so much to all of us?
It's not just making a difference to the community, but for us, it's making a difference to our industry. To understand what it is people need to live in an appropriate, safe, healthy way, by way of recreation, retail, how we support ourselves, what our healthcare facilities, our long-term care facilities, we've learned a big, terrible lesson about that. Those are all things that folks who are in our industry can influence and take a leadership role in. What I try to do every day is follow what my grandfather used to say, and that is, unless you stand for something, you can fall for anything. So I try to live my values, I try to learn from other folks, but I try also to be strong.
People like Jane don't go looking for recognition. They don't do it for the recognition. They do it because it's the right thing to do. Jane, I'm very proud and pleased to congratulate you on receiving the NAIOP Toronto Community Service Award. All the best and congratulations.
I'd like to commend NAIOP Toronto for establishing the Community Service Award, and I particularly want to thank NAIOP Toronto for awarding it to me this year. Much appreciated.